All right, Tech fans, man, what's going on, man? So, got a brand new video. Last night was a big night for Georgia Tech. They landed their first 2026 recruit, Traeviss Stevenson, I should say, from Brooks County. This is a team that went all the way to the state championship, lost to the three-time state champion, and obviously that is Bowden High School, who's a really good program ran by Rich Finley. He obviously does a spectacular job, coaching that group up. But Brooks County got some dogs, right? They got George Lamons, who's a top 2027 recruit, and obviously got this guy right here, Traeviss Stevenson. Now, when you look at his stats, man, he had a really good year, right? Had 74 tackles this past year. He also had, obviously, 10 pass deflections, 4 interceptions, a forced fumble, and a fumble recovery, right? So, and he was used on both sides of the ball, as you can see here from this Tech article that I wrote. 29 catches, 244 yards, and 2 touchdowns this past season, right? So, he can do a little bit of everything, right? And what's interesting is he's being recruited as a cornerback for Georgia Tech, right? Really, originally he played safety. So what does that tell you, right? That tells you that he's versatile. He can play multiple positions, which is what we're starting to see, obviously, with the back line and defense, right? You want to be versatile. You want to be able to play the slot corner, boundary corner. You want to play strong and free safety. You want to be able to play in the box. So if they're running a non-technique, you can get in that box and you can stop the run, right? So whatever kind of defense you're going to go or offense you're going to go against, you can basically play anywhere. And when you have that versatility, we see it in the NFL, right? Kyle Hamilton's of the world, being able to play anywhere. Derwin James, several guys. So when you have this at a young age, it says a lot, right? And I think that the key in this relationship is Kobe Jones. Now, I got to give him credit where credit is due because he was just hired, y'all, in January. But here's his decision right here. He says, I made my decision a couple of days ago. I chose Georgia Tech because it's the best place for me and my education. Stevenson told On3. The coaching staff, the culture, and how they practice are other things I love about Georgia Tech, right? Obviously, we talked about here Kobe Jones being key in the decision. He talked about his relationship with him. Obviously, how he coaches up the DBs, feels very comfortable. So the fact that Georgia Tech, we already know how great Coach Corey Peoples is, but the fact they got multiple guys that is recruiting at a high level this early says a lot, right? And mind y'all, it's only March, right? We haven't even got to official visit season yet. This is just spring visits right now, unofficials, which basically means the players play out of pocket to go to, right? They haven't even got to that. Now, he obviously did lock in an official visit with Georgia Tech, which, as y'all can see right here, is on June 6th through the June 8th as his official visit. But he has others lined up too. But felt super comfortable with the Yellow Jackets to go ahead and say, hey, I'm committed. This is where I want to go, man. So I do want to say this about the DB spot. I think they're recruiting at a high-end level right now. Obviously, you look at the 2025 class with a Dalen Pinson and a Tay Harris. Now you're landing more marquee guys like a Traeviss Stevenson as well. That is a physical type of player, really good in press and zone. You landed marquee guys that can be difference makers at the next level. So you really got to give a shout out to how Georgia Tech is recruiting at a DB spot currently right now. Probably one of the best in the country, and how they're recruiting, how they're, competing and landing guys, right? And another in-state win. Now he's only rated as a 3-star. I believe it was on Rivals, So the other ones haven't came to freight for him just yet. But he has continued to put his head down. He plays for a smaller school, but it doesn't mean he can't play, right? He's gotten bigger and bigger, man. He's gotten better and better. And I think it's going to be a guy you look in a couple years and you're like, okay, that was a really good steal for Georgia Tech. That was a really good pickup for the Yellow Jackets. So they're doing a great job, man. Yeah, y'all, that's my thoughts, man. Another great pickup, obviously, for Georgia Tech. They're not done yet. They're going to do way more with this class. Expect them to, stay on it, man. Continue to land marquee guys and show why they're becoming one of the better programs, not only in the ACC, but pretty soon in the country. I think they're going to continue to build on that, and I can't wait to see how some of these freshmen are going to look with the Yellow Jackets this upcoming season in 2025, man. So shout out to Georgia Tech, shout out to Coach Key, shout out to that staff, man, for recruiting hard. And I went to a practice, and Coach Key coaches hard, man. I only seen about 20 minutes or so, but they not playing around, man. I can tell you that. And they hold themselves to a very high standard. Last thing on Stevenson, he really wants to go into computer technology. He told that to the Crowded Booth on the podcast when he talked to him about a 5-10 minute interview. Said that Georgia Tech fits him well, not just the culture, the coaching staff, or Coach Key, but also the education part too. And I think you're going to see more people, especially as we go into technology and the proliferation, where we see obviously with like NVIDIA, we're seeing Palantir, AMD, TSM, Tawan Manufacturing. You're going to see more people wanting to go to Georgia Tech, especially with them being the leader in terms of just guys being able to just win outside of life and being able to get into technology and what's the next phase of that. I think it's going to be very important in the future. And they're going to get a lot of guys that want to come there and get that stamp of approval and that education piece from Georgia Tech that can really make them stand out, whether they're creating their own company or they're becoming a CEO of their own company or somebody else's company. So Georgia Tech got a lot going for them, man. Another top-end recruit.